Have you ever looked at yourself and asked, why am I doing this? Have you ever observed your art and wondered, what on earth am I doing? Have you ever felt like no matter how much time you put in, the result just never seems to change, never seems to get any better? I've personally been walking this lonely self-taught artist path for 3 years. Most steps I take are in confusion. Most pebbles turn lead to either questions or half an answer, leading to more questions. For a long time, shapes and forms, colors, light, lines, and perspective were elusive topics to me, part of this greater whole I so desperately wanted to understand, but couldn't fully grasp. For when we walk a path alone, without the input of another, we learn by doing, trying, experimenting. And most likely we do it more times over than would ever have been necessary had there been someone to guide us. As much as I love having all time to myself, learning by myself at my own pace and my own comforts, I do sometimes wonder, where could I have been if these 3 years had been spent with continuous feedback, redirection, and overall emotional support? How many times haven't I thrown a brush against the wall, paint splattering in all directions, visualizing the frustration in my head, the frustration of just not getting it, just not seeing it, when a master could have pinpointed my mistake in a heartbeat, which would have saved me weeks, maybe even months of head scratching and the feeling of stupidity or failure, because my eyes aren't skilled enough to see what I'm doing wrong. Being a self-taught artist is a lonely road, as many roads are. At times, it's lonely, but with an abundance of flowers and colors, atmospheric light, and breathtaking views. At those times, it doesn't matter what our hands swirl on our pages, because the mere fact of creating synchronizes with the beauty around us. At other times, the road is steep up a mountain, boulders falling down the slopes, rocks and roots snapping at our feet, wanting us to fall. Every thought and emotion as we move the pencil or brush, a trigger to the boulder that may knock us off our feet. And our will to stand back up wavers once more.
Good morning, Traveler of Worlds. I have not talked to the camera for a while, so I feel a little bit shy, but we're rolling with it. I spent this morning practicing portraits. Now, I have been trying to practice my portraits for a little while now, and I'm getting increasingly frustrated because I know there is something I don't understand, which is very much stopping me from creating realistic portraits and getting the proportions right, but I don't know what it is yet. I know that eventually I will come to the conclusion and have an epiphany of, oh, that is what I've been doing wrong all along, and suddenly I have this huge growth spurt, but I'm not there yet. So this is the result of this morning. This whole chin situation is making me itch because I just don't, I see that I'm doing stuff wrong. I do not know what I'm doing wrong. But that is why we're practicing, isn't it? To eventually understand our mistakes and learn from them. And so, I just have to swallow my frustration right now, accept that I'm not where I want to be yet, and draw portraits and learn until I finally understand it. So, welcome to the video.
On sunny days, it's easy to get up and see the big picture of what you love to do. Life is your canvas, and you paint it with your essence, showing the world that you belong here too. But on days when the rain falls heavy, and the failed painting on your desk reflects the tears dripping down your window, who will then take your hand and encourage you to get up? Who will tell you that bad art is the doorway to good art? And who will remind you that it's about the journey of creating, not the result itself?
Just as in the waves, no need to behave in the harbor of
Hello everybody! I've tried to talk to you for I think 10 minutes straight now. Everything is going wrong these days. I'm not in a bad mood, kind of, but I don't know, just things aren't working out. I tried to paint this morning, painting waves. I am not seeing it. I just don't seem, I'm creating not bad art, but I'm not creating the right art. I'm not doing things correctly, and I'm not seeing my mistakes, and it's so frustrating. And I guess this is a huge benefit of going to art school or having an art teacher, somebody to guide you, to show you your mistakes. Because at this point, I'm trying to create the waves, and I'm not seeing the rhythm of the waves. So, the shadows and the highlights and everything in between the values become a blur to me. And the same goes for the portrait that I went into the woods yesterday and shaded. I was pleased with the outline, but then I forgot to bring a reference image for the shading, so I tried to shade it just in my head, and now the entire face is distorted. That is the end result. And I can what I was saying, I think that's a benefit of going to art school or anything, having some kind of support so that someone can help you to see what you're doing wrong, and then you can actually start working on your mistakes. Whilst in my case, I still need to see the mistakes that I'm making, and all this time that I'm not seeing what I'm doing wrong, I can't actually improve it. Yeah, but a bit frustrated, a bit disheartened, because right now I feel like I don't know anything about anything art related, don't know how to paint, don't know how to create portraits, I don't know this, I don't know that, and my ego really wants to beat me up for that, but I'm not going to do it because, it is what it is, and I just need to keep going. So, my battery died, which is good, because if not, I would have gone on another rant. I'm gonna go take a break, eat some food, and then, despite it all, try some portrait stuff again. Moving on with my day. Everything is fine. I can do this. One step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time.
Being a self-taught artist is an art in and of itself. Learning the disciplines for consistent practice, learning to use your eyes as tools to better your mistakes, becoming your own mentor, teacher, emotional support, finding the courage to critique your work, or even more difficult, compliment it when you should. It's a messy, emotional ride of frustration, setbacks, confusion, and discouragement. Yet it's also the most magical experience, an opportunity to color the world with your essence and your beauty. Please remember, no matter how discouraged you are, how untalented you may feel, or how slow you create, the world needs your art and your light. All creation, from the heart and soul, tips the balance of the scales of life to the side of beauty, love, and light. Your creation and your courage to do what you love literally makes the world a more beautiful place. And on days when it seems impossible to get up, Let the energy from all frustrated, chaotic artists and creatives take your hand and help you up. Because if they can do it, so can you.
Out of the darkness, a sound. It all seems so harmless. A silver light. Don't you wait until the morning light, the morning light. Far away until you're out of sight, you're out of sight. Cause you gotta let know while you can. Don't look back, don't forget. You gotta let know while you can. Don't look back, don't forget. You gotta let know while you can. Don't you wait until the morning light, the morning light. Far away until you're out of sight, you're out of
I just finished my first concept sketch for the very first painting I am going to create in my semi-secret project, which is the water-themed watercolor portrait. You know, I've been obsessing so much over trying to be able to draw good portraits the last week, trying to practice, trying to understand it, so much so that I've forgotten the point of why I'm doing this, why I'm learning this, what I want to use these skills for. So yesterday I just had to like knock on my own shoulders, on my head. I just had to knock somewhere to wake myself up and tell myself, you know, I am learning to draw portraits so that I can incorporate that in a like fantastical spiritual watercolor painting. And what's the point of you just continuously drawing portraits if you don't actually start working on the thing that you actually want to create? So here's the first idea. And you know, I have to work on my wave skills, I have to work on my shading skills and everything, but I think I'm pleased with it in the sense that it gives me a certain feeling of, you know what, I am going somewhere. I have an idea, and you know, I have a little product here that I can use as inspiration to build upon. Yeah, for this painting that I will be creating very soon. In my schedule, as if I have a schedule, but like in my pretend schedule, I want to create this water-themed watercolor portrait within the first 2 weeks of April. Before that time, I need to learn how to paint portraits. But you know, we're not going to talk about that today. Anyway, I'm gonna go, because I once again talked for too long. I think this whole experience with the portraits the last couple of days inspired the reason for this video, just because I noticed very heavily, because I am self-taught, because I don't go to art school, I don't have any mentors, I don't get any help, everything becomes a little bit scattered. That is like the biggest humpily dump bump in my artist road. I'm gonna go not draw portraits. It's weekend, so I'm gonna do something completely different. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much for being here and for joining me on this journey, and I wholeheartedly welcome you to become a part of the A Traveler of Worlds community. If you're curious to see what this concept drawing will turn into in a couple of weeks, feel free to stay tuned. I will see you all again very, very soon.